The One Above All is the highest power in Marvel, serving as the ultimate origin of existence, creation, and universal balance. This being is all-powerful, all-knowing, and present across every plane of reality, existing beyond time, dimensions, and space itself. Unlike other cosmic figures who embody particular concepts, the One Above All surpasses all categories, existing as the sole architect of the entire multiverse. Appearances of this entity are rare, and usually presented in symbolic ways rather than direct encounters. When it does manifest, the being is often shown in simple form, offering guidance or comfort during key turning points. In one instance, it appeared to Peter Parker, the hero known as Spider-Man, to console him during a moment of deep loss, showing its nature not only as a creator, but also as a guiding presence filled with compassion. Its role emphasizes unmatched authority and ultimate control over every aspect of Marvel's reality. The Living Tribunal is a cosmic authority in Marvel whose sole purpose is to preserve balance across the multiverse. It stands beyond time, space, and allegiance, serving as an impartial judge rather than a deity. Its appearance is defined by three faces called equity, necessity, and vengeance, each representing a distinct principle of judgment. Action is only taken when all three aspects reach complete agreement, ensuring that every ruling reflects perfect equilibrium. The Tribunal does not intervene in minor events, but appears only when multiversal stability is threatened, such as when universes face collapse, or when fundamental laws of reality are broken. Its authority is derived from the One Above All, the only being greater in power. Through this role, the Tribunal has dismantled universes, removed vast power from individuals, and erased entities that posed existential danger. Its rulings are absolute, leaving no possibility of reversal. On rare occasions, the Tribunal has chosen mortal representatives to act on its behalf, granting them extraordinary responsibility to enforce its will on a smaller scale. Though it reveals little of its nature, the Living Tribunal endures as a permanent safeguard of existence, embodying balance without ambition, desire, or moral bias. Eternity is the physical embodiment of the Marvel Universe, representing the totality of time, space, matter, and energy as a single living force. Commonly depicted as a towering silhouette filled with stars and galaxies, he exists far beyond human comprehension, operating on a scale that encompasses the entire cosmos. Eternity coexists with other fundamental entities, such as infinity, death, oblivion, and the Living Tribunal. But unlike them, he does not control one part of creation. He is creation itself. Every plane of reality, each moment in history, and all dimensions exist within him. Though he rarely involves himself in minor struggles, Eternity acts when the very structure of the universe is at risk. In such times, he has chosen champions, empowered sorcerers like Doctor Strange, and directly confronted immense threats, including Thanos, Dormammu, and the Beyonders. Despite his unmatched scope, he is not limitless. He can be harmed, confined, or overpowered by beings with reality-altering powers, such as those wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, or forces that span the multiverse. Eternity remains indispensable, for without him, the universe would collapse into nothingness. He often communicates in abstract, poetic ways, reflecting his view that stretches beyond linear time. While detached from mortal concerns, he has occasionally revealed a degree of compassion, acknowledging the significance of sentient life within the endless vastness he embodies. Infinity is the cosmic embodiment of time and limitless potential in the Marvel Universe. She is not worshipped as a deity, but exists as an eternal principle, a force beyond mortality or physical substance. Frequently portrayed as a radiant, star-filled figure, she serves as the counterpart and sibling of Eternity, sharing with him authority over the entire structure of creation. As a primal entity, Infinity represents the unending progression of time and the countless possible futures branching from every moment. She ensures that temporal flow remains aligned with the greater order of existence. Alongside Eternity, she completes the balance of the universe, combining time and space into a unified whole. Infinity rarely engages directly with mortals, yet her presence becomes evident when time faces disruption or collapse. At rare intervals, she has spoken to individuals or granted a portion of her essence, through chosen avatars, to defend the integrity of reality. Her actions are deliberate and measured, shaped by an awareness that stretches across vast spans of ages rather than years or centuries. She has borne witness to crises where misuse of powerful relics, such as the Infinity Stones, endangered the flow of time itself. In such matters, she has acted to preserve stability. Without Infinity's existence, the temporal order would disintegrate, leading to the unraveling of the cosmos itself. Death is an eternal entity in Marvel that embodies the inescapable conclusion of all life and creation. She stands as one of the fundamental forces that shape reality, existing not as an enemy, but as a constant presence. Commonly portrayed as a veiled woman, sometimes appearing with great beauty, she acts without malice or kindness, carrying out her role with absolute detachment. Her purpose is to preserve balance by ensuring that everything, from living creatures to entire star systems, eventually reaches an end. Unlike other cosmic beings bound to specific domains, Death's influence extends across all realms of existence, existence. Every god, alien, mutant, or titan must eventually fall under her domain. Her presence has captivated many, most notably Thanos, who became consumed by love for her and committed devastating acts in pursuit of her recognition. Death rarely communicates, but when she does, her words mark absolute certainty. Though capable of restoring life or granting resurrection, these moments are exceedingly rare and always tied to the larger equilibrium of the universe. She does not demand reverence, nor does she seek vengeance. She endures simply as the eternal conclusion to all things. Her existence serves as a reminder that no matter the strength, immortality, or status of any being, all creation is bound to an inevitable end. Oblivion is the cosmic embodiment of nothingness in Marvel, existing before creation, time, or thought, and remaining ever-present beyond all reality. Unlike entities that govern aspects of life or existence, he embodies the absence of all things. He is not death, which signals an ending within existence, nor destruction, which alters what already is. Oblivion is the void itself, the state where matter, thought, and identity dissolve into non-being. He is usually depicted as a vast, shadowed presence without defined shape, cloaked not in substance, but in emptiness. His existence represents the silence before creation and the abyss that waits when all things fade. Oblivion seldom acts, but when he does, it is to draw back fragments of reality that have stretched beyond balance or order. On certain occasions, he has created agents such as Maelstrom to serve as his representatives among the living. Though his nature inspires fear, Oblivion does not act with malice. He is a necessary counterpart in the structure of the universe, ensuring that renewal and rebirth remain possible. By embodying the void, he provides the contrast that allows existence to hold meaning. Galactus is one of the most formidable forces in Marvel, originating from the universe that existed before the Big Bang. He was once a mortal named Galan from the planet Ta, a highly advanced world in that previous reality. When that universe collapsed, Galan merged with the essence of the dying cosmos and was reborn in the next creation as Galactus, a being of immeasurable strength and eternal purpose. Known as the Devourer of Worlds, Galactus survives by consuming the life force of entire planets. He traverses space aboard an enormous vessel and is often accompanied by heralds, powerful envoys such as the Silver Surfer, who search for worlds capable of sustaining him. His actions are often seen as catastrophic, yet he is not motivated by cruelty or malice. Instead, he exists as a principle of balance, ensuring the cycle of death and renewal within the universe continues. Galactus has confronted many champions, including the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, and is frequently viewed as an enemy. However, he is better understood as a necessary force, burdened by the endless hunger that defines his role. Civilizations across the cosmos have attempted to destroy him, control him, or worship him, treating him as either a menace or a divine being. Despite his power, he has endured moments of weakness, including starvation and rare defeats. On certain occasions, he has even formed alliances with heroes to combat larger dangers, revealing a depth that extends beyond his destructive reputation. The Beyonder is a being of immense power who originates from the Beyond Realm, a dimension entirely separate from the known multiverse. Neither mortal nor divine, he exists outside the natural structure of reality, which makes his nature unlike that of any other cosmic force. His abilities once exceeded the combined power of the entire Marvel cosmos, placing him among the most overwhelming entities ever encountered. After becoming aware of the universe, the Beyonder grew intrigued by concepts such as individuality, desire, and conflict. This fascination led him to create the event known as Secret Wars, where he assembled numerous heroes and villains on a constructed planet called Battleworld. There, he forced them into struggles that revealed their ambitions, fears, and inner conflicts. Through this experiment, he attempted to study free will, strength, and the complexities of life. Unlike cosmic constants such as eternity or death, the Beyonder does not serve a role within the natural balance of existence. Instead, he functions outside it entirely, which makes him dangerously unpredictable. At his height, he possessed the ability to reshape reality without effort, erase galaxies, restore the dead, and overpower even the most fundamental entities. Over time, his character shifted from an almost omnipotent outsider to a more self-aware figure who struggled with ideas of identity and limitation. Though his portrayal has varied across different stories, the Beyonder consistently remains one of the most formidable and enigmatic forces within Marvel's cosmology. The Celestials are some of the oldest and most powerful entities in Marvel, existing long before most known civilizations and leaving an impact that spans countless galaxies. Towering in size and nearly impossible to comprehend, they act as architects of life, death, and order on a cosmic scale. Though rarely witnessed, their influence is undeniable wherever they appear. One of their most significant interventions took place on prehistoric Earth, where they conducted experiments on early humans. These actions resulted in the creation of two distinct offshoots: the Eternals, beings of near perfection, and the Deviants, deviants, a twisted and unstable race. This single decision permanently altered humanity's future and shaped the course of its development. The Celestials do not operate as gods demanding worship or tyrants seeking domination. Instead, they function more like cosmic gardeners, cultivating, guiding, and at times eradicating civilizations to sustain universal balance. Their verdicts are absolute, and their actions cannot be undone. Across history, they have periodically returned to observe the progress of their creations, and when they judge a world to be unstable or unworthy, they have destroyed it without hesitation. Their true intentions remain concealed, leaving many to question whether they are creators executing a grand design, guardians of evolution, or ancient scientists carrying out experiments on a scale beyond mortal understanding. Whatever their nature, one fact remains clear. Whenever the Celestials emerge, the survival of entire worlds rests upon their judgment. The Watchers are one of the oldest races in Marvel, existing for billions of years with a single purpose: to observe and record the unfolding of the cosmos. They once attempted to share their vast knowledge with less advanced civilizations, but this act led to devastation instead of progress. From that failure, they adopted a binding vow of non-interference, dedicating themselves to watching rather than shaping events. Each Watcher is assigned to oversee a region of the universe, silently documenting everything from the rise of species to the collapse of entire realities. Their awareness spans across time and space, allowing them to perceive events long before they occur. They have borne witness to the birth of stars, the downfall of gods, and countless turning points in creation's history. The most recognized among them is Uatu, who was placed on Earth's moon to observe humanity's path. Though bound by the same oath as his kin, Uatu has broken it repeatedly, stepping into decisive moments when the survival of existence itself was at stake. His actions reveal the tension between duty and conscience within the Watcher's order. Despite their silence, the presence of a Watcher often signals that an event of extraordinary scale is unfolding. On rare occasions, they gather together to witness moments of unparalleled importance, recording truths that even the greatest cosmic beings cannot fully comprehend. They do not rule or interfere, yet their vast archives contain the deepest record of the multiverse itself. Chaos and order are primal forces in Marvel that represent the opposing principles underlying all of existence. Chaos embodies unpredictability, freedom, and constant change, while order symbolizes stability, structure, and control. Together, they form a necessary balance, maintaining the rhythm and function of the multiverse. Neither operates as a god or ruler, and neither acts from morality. Instead, they exist as eternal constants, essential to the survival of creation itself. They rarely manifest in physical form, but when they do, they are often shown as radiant, abstract figures existing beyond space and time. More commonly, they act through chosen avatars. Their most notable creation is the In-Betweener, a being intended to embody both forces equally. Yet, even this fusion struggled with inner conflict, reflecting the deep incompatibility of chaos and order despite their interdependence. These entities seldom interfere directly in the affairs of mortals, yet their influence is felt across all scales of existence, from the collapse of galaxies to the smallest choices made by individuals. Without chaos, there would be no growth or transformation. Without order, nothing could endure. It is the constant tension between them that sustains the universe and drives it forward. Kronos is a powerful cosmic being in Marvel who represents the essence of time itself and is deeply connected to the origins of the Eternals. He was once an Eternal of Earth, known as a visionary philosopher and scientist, whose pursuit of cosmic truth changed his existence forever. Seeking to unlock the mysteries of time and energy, he conducted a daring experiment that triggered a massive explosion. His body was destroyed, but instead of dying, he was transformed into a disembodied consciousness, fused with the flow of time. In this new state, Kronos became an abstract force with awareness stretching across the cosmos. He no longer exists in a physical form, but influences events by guiding or adjusting the currents of time. His role is that of a guardian, ensuring stability across cosmic history and protecting the balance of temporal order. Though distant and detached, Kronos has occasionally intervened when the universe faced overwhelming threats. When Thanos gained control of the Infinity Gauntlet, Kronos joined other great entities to oppose him, demonstrating his willingness to act when existence itself was endangered. He also holds a personal connection to that conflict, being the grandfather of Thanos. Despite his vast strength, Kronos typically avoids direct involvement, preferring instead to preserve equilibrium and only stepping in when the survival of time and reality demands it. Eon and Epoch are cosmic entities in Marvel who embody time, evolution, and the preservation of universal order. Both serve as guides to those chosen to defend existence, ensuring that cosmic awareness is passed from one generation to the next. Eon, the elder of the two, was created by Eternity as one of the first abstract beings to aid in maintaining balance throughout the universe. He served as guardian of the cosmic axis, a role that tied him to the progression of time and the growth of life. One of his most important duties was the selection and mentoring of protectors, granting granting them the quantum bands and tasking them with safeguarding reality. Among his most notable champions was Quasar, who carried both the power and responsibility under Eon's guidance. Eon's existence eventually ended when he was killed by Maelstrom during a vast conflict. From his death emerged Epoch, his child and successor. Though younger and less experienced, Epoch inherited the same purpose, continuing to act as a custodian of cosmic awareness. Like his father, he possesses immense knowledge of time and destiny, guiding chosen defenders through visions, psychic communication, and manifestations. Together, Eon and Epoch represent the continuous cycle of legacy and rebirth. Through them, the mantle of cosmic responsibility is preserved across ages, ensuring that the universe always has guardians to stand against threats to its balance. The Stranger is a formidable cosmic figure in Marvel, defined by his vast intellect, enigmatic presence, and relentless pursuit of knowledge. Unlike entities tied to fundamental forces, he does not embody a specific aspect of creation. Instead, he operates as a cosmic scientist and philosopher, traveling across galaxies to observe, experiment, and study the principles that govern existence. His origins are intentionally obscure, reinforcing his role as an unpredictable force. The Stranger often views entire civilizations as subjects for examination, judging their morality, technological development, or evolutionary potential. His methods can appear intrusive or detached, but his actions are not driven by cruelty. To him, reality itself is an endless experiment, and he is its tireless investigator. Possessing tremendous abilities, the Stranger can reshape matter on planetary scales, alter reality, and traverse dimensions freely. He generally avoids involvement in universal affairs unless something arouses his curiosity. When that curiosity crosses into dangerous territory, it has brought him into direct conflict with Earth's defenders, particularly when his experiments endanger innocent lives. The Stranger maintains a vast laboratory world filled with entire species, artifacts, and phenomena that he has collected for study. His role is neither heroic nor villainous. Instead, he exists in between, a wandering intellect whose presence reminds all beings that they may at any time become part of his quest to understand the universe. The Phoenix Force is one of Marvel's most powerful and ancient entities, embodying the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It is not defined as good or evil, but exists as a fundamental energy that fuels creation while also carrying the potential for destruction. Wherever life flourishes, the Phoenix is present, silently observing and occasionally intervening in ways that alter the course of entire realities. This force predates most galaxies and is woven into the structure of existence itself. It is drawn to beings with immense potential, merging with them to accomplish its purpose. Its most well-known host is Jean Grey, whose connection to the Phoenix has sparked some of the most devastating events in Marvel history, including the Dark Phoenix saga. The Phoenix Force acts without moral alignment. At times it serves as a guardian, pushing evolution forward and allowing renewal, while at other times it acts as a destroyer, reducing civilizations to ash in order to purge stagnation. It can erase threats to cosmic balance, but it also empowers chosen hosts with abilities that extend to the manipulation of matter, energy, time, and even life itself. Its emblem, a blazing bird of fire, reflects the endless cycle it represents. Yet its power carries immense risk. When joined with a host, the Phoenix magnifies their desires and ambitions to limitless heights. If the host's will is not strong enough to endure the overwhelming force, they risk being consumed and overtaken entirely. The Presence is the supreme, all-encompassing creator within the DC universe, existing beyond time, space, and narrative itself. Often associated with the god of Abrahamic traditions, the Presence is not limited to any single mythology, representing the ultimate source of all existence. He manifests in multiple forms, including the voice, the light of creation, the source, and the hand. His essence predates the cosmos, existing alongside the primordial darkness before the emergence of light. Creation began when the Presence spoke the word, "Let there be light," initiating the formation of the universe. His divine essence is integral to all of existence. He created celestial beings such as Michael, Lucifer, and Gabriel to shape matter, life, and law, establishing free will as a fundamental principle of the universe. As the source, he directed cosmic forces to organize multiverses, initiated the god wave that empowered deities, and is credited with the creation of realms including Urgrund, Olympus, and New Genesis. Although omnipotent, the Presence rarely intervenes directly, preferring to act through agents such as angels, the Spectre, and chosen mortal champions. He has, however, manifested in physical form, including appearances as an elderly man in a bowler hat. Even when he once relinquished his throne in heaven, his influence persisted throughout all layers of reality. The Presence functions not merely as a deity within DC cosmology, but as the foundational structure underlying all stories and the framework of existence itself. Michael Demiurgos is an immensely powerful being created directly by the presence and the twin brother of Lucifer Morningstar. While Lucifer imposed his will to shape creation, Michael provided the raw, limitless energy necessary to bring entire realities into existence. Together, they formed the foundation of all creation. Michael possesses cosmic-level creative abilities, dimensional manipulation, immortality, near omniscience, invulnerability, and the capacity to reshape reality. He can generate entire universes through thought alone, and his energy is so vast that his death outside of Lucifer's realm could destabilize or destroy the multiverse. During Lucifer's rebellion, Michael remained loyal to heaven, leading the angelic host in the celestial war. After being mortally wounded, he entrusted his death to Lucifer to prevent universal collapse. Death did not end his influence, and he later returned, exiled from the Silver City, to safeguard creation in the absence of the presence. Michael later reunited with Lucifer and his daughter, Elaine, traveling to Yggdrasil to prevent cosmic unraveling. When a possessed Lucifer attacked Elaine, Michael intervened, restraining himself to avoid harming his brother, but ultimately being defeated. In a final act, he transferred his power to Elaine to ensure the continuity of creation. Michael Demiurgos' narrative emphasizes the exercise of restraint and responsibility alongside his immense power. The Spectre is the embodiment of divine vengeance within the DC universe. A near-omnipotent cosmic force, originally a rebellious angel who sided with Lucifer, he later repented and accepted divine punishment. Stripped of personal identity, he became the Spectre, a spirit of retribution bound to mortal hosts to execute judgment throughout existence. The Spectre requires a human host to anchor his power. Notable hosts include Jim Corrigan, a deceased detective who became a supernatural enforcer, Hal Jordan, who sought redemption following his tenure as Parallax, and Crispus Allen, a morally conflicted police officer chosen during the aftermath of Infinite Crisis. The Spectre's abilities remain vast, but his perspective and judgment are shaped by the nature of his host. His powers encompass manipulation of time, space, souls, matter, and reality. He has the capacity to erase deities, halt time, create miniature universes, and destroy entire dimensions. At his full potential, the Spectre exists beyond space and time, merged with the divine realm, and is considered one with the Oversoul, placing him among the most metaphysically powerful entities in DC. Despite his immense power, the Spectre is subject to manipulation, particularly when unanchored, as demonstrated when Eclipso deceived him into destroying the source of magic. He is also vulnerable to divine artifacts and bound by the will of the presence. Across eras, the Spectre's return and judgments serve to enforce the principle that no sin escapes divine retribution, reinforcing his role as an ultimate agent of vengeance in the multiverse. Lucifer Morningstar is the first and most radiant of the archangels, a being of immense power, beauty, and intellect. Created by the presence as the Lightbringer, he was the wisest and most capable among the celestial host. When obedience shifted to defiance, Lucifer led a rebellion against heaven and, as a consequence, was cast into the Chaoplasm, a formless void which he shaped into hell. For eons, he governed this realm, not as a torturer of souls, but as a custodian of order within its desolate confines. Lucifer's discontent grew, not from a lack of power, but from the constraints of eternal purpose. Condemned to fulfill a single act of rebellion, he began to question the structure of divine authority. Eventually, he abandoned his throne, expelled all demons and souls from hell, sealed its gates, and relinquished his rule. This act freed him from prophecy and obligation, establishing him as an autonomous force in the cosmos. Lucifer possesses near-omnipotent abilities, including multiversal manipulation, control over elemental and divine forces, the power to wield divine flame, and the capacity to bend the laws of existence. He answers to no one and rivals only his twin, Michael Demiurgos, in power derived from the presence. He is not defined by moral alignment. Instead, he functions as a being of pure, unbound will, operating beyond conventional notions of good and evil. The Source is the primal origin of all existence, the wellspring from which the multiverse emerges and to which all realities ultimately return. It exists beyond comprehension, beyond the reach of even gods and celestial beings. It predates the formation of matter, the rise of angels, and the ignition of the first stars. The Source generated the cosmic framework, establishing the fundamental principles of existence, including light and shadow, order and chaos, life and entropy. From the Source arose the Presence, and through the Presence came gods, angels, and the ongoing cycle of creation. The Source functions not only as a creator, but as the underlying structure of reality itself. Every realm, reality, soul, and moment of time flows from it. Even beings of immense power, such as Lucifer and Michael, exist as expressions or fragments of its will, moving within its eternal current. Encountering the Source represents standing at the edge of all knowledge, where even the greatest beings risk dissolution in the presence of absolute truth. It does not judge or communicate. It exists as the fundamental essence of all that is. Perpetua is an ancient super-celestial in a hand of the Source, originally tasked with shaping a multiverse designed to evolve and ultimately return to the Source. At the dawn of existence, she diverged from this purpose, rejecting balance and creating a reality defined by conflict and domination, using the dark energies of crisis. She formed the first multiverse with these energies and produced 3 cosmic suns, Marnov, Alphys, and Mobius, to govern matter, dark matter, and antimatter. Perpetua sought perfection through experimentation, including the creation of the apex predators, hybrid war beings derived from Martians and humans. When her sons recognized the destructive consequences of her designs, they rebelled against her. In response, Perpetua unleashed her power, but was ultimately restrained and imprisoned within the Source Wall by the cosmic entity known as the Cosmic Raptor. Though confined for billions of years, her influence persisted, subtly shaping crises throughout multiversal history. After the Source Wall was breached, she was freed and regained power, enlisting Lex Luthor as a transformed apex predator under her command. With mastery over hypertime and the 7 cosmic forces, Perpetua pursued the reformation of existence according to her vision, destroying worlds, corrupting minds, and challenging all opposition. Mar-Novu, known as the Monitor, is a cosmic entity created by Perpetua, one of the hands of the Source. He was assigned to oversee and protect the positive matter universe, guarding it against threats from darkness, chaos, and collapse. Initially designed to maintain the stability of Perpetua's multiverse, Mar-Novu eventually learned of his mother's rebellion against the Source. After he and his brothers opposed her, Perpetua branded him a traitor and sent her apex predators to eliminate him. Mar-Novu narrowly survived and later contributed to her imprisonment within the Source Wall. Throughout history, the Monitor has largely observed the multiverse silently, intervening only when necessary to maintain cosmic balance. He played a central role in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, organizing heroes from across multiple worlds to confront his corrupted brother, the Anti-Monitor. In this conflict, Mar-Novu sacrificed his life to prevent the multiverse from collapsing. Despite his death, his essence persisted, and versions or echoes of the Monitor have appeared in subsequent crises. Mar-Novu embodies foresight, balance, and the weight of cosmic responsibility. While his abilities are vast, his defining traits are his wisdom and his profound understanding of the precarious nature of reality. Mobius, known as the Anti-Monitor, is one of the 3 cosmic sons of Perpetua. He was originally created to contain the light of creation and prevent it from spreading into the wider omniverse. However, his trajectory was corrupted by Perpetua's vision of a crisis-driven reality, and he adopted her philosophy of survival through domination, becoming a force of destruction. He came to believe that annihilation was necessary to impose perfection, a mindset that culminated in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, where he sought to destroy the positive matter multiverse, consuming entire universes to expand his antimatter realm. His actions caused widespread devastation, compelling heroes and cosmic entities across the multiverse to unite under his brother, the Monitor, to stop him. Though initially defeated, Mobius re-emerged in subsequent crises, either resurrected or manipulated, consistently pursuing multiversal annihilation. Perpetua later revived Mobius and granted him control of the anti-life equation, further amplifying his destructive potential and establishing him as her primary enforcer. He betrayed his brothers and assisted in the conquest of multiple Earths. Mobius represents the tragic consequences of Perpetua's rebellion, a being intended to maintain balance transformed into an instrument of absolute devastation. Dax Novu, later known as Mandrak the Dark Monitor, was the first and most powerful of the Monitors, a being dedicated to preserving the integrity of existence. Renowned for his vision and nobility, his downfall stemmed from his insatiable curiosity. In seeking to understand the ultimate nature of creation, he explored the bleed, the space between universes, and encountered truths beyond comprehension, which corrupted him. Transformed into Mandrak, he became a Dark Monitor, a predatory entity that consumes story, hope, and the fundamental essence of existence. Unlike the Anti-Monitor, who destroys through force, Mandrak erases meaning itself, unmaking reality by draining it of narrative. He embodies nihilism, asserting that the multiverse must be devoured to reveal the void beyond all creation. Sealed by his fellow Monitors, Mandrak eventually returned during Final Crisis, posing a threat to all existence. Even Superman, empowered by the cosmic treadmill and the thought robot, only narrowly prevented his destruction of reality. Mandrak represents an existential danger, targeting not just life but the underlying structure of narrative, imagination, and reality itself. The World Forger, also known as Alphys, is one of Perpetua's cosmic sons. He was assigned the task of shaping dark matter within the realm beneath creation, forging raw potential into fully realized universes. In his forge, he evaluates each universe's stability, direction, and alignment before allowing it to ascend into the greater multiverse. Realities deemed unfit are cast into the pit, a counterpart to the forge, where they either dissolve into nothingness or fall into the dark multiverse. Alphys bears the ongoing responsibility of creating and discarding countless possible worlds. worlds. Though he initially served under his mother's influence, he eventually opposed her upon recognizing her disregard for the delicate balance of creation. During the events of Justice League Doom War, the World Forger attempted to impose a predetermined utopian future, advocating for a version of reality in which Earth embraced complete control and order, warning that refusal would result in cosmic collapse. The League rejected this vision, generating a moral conflict between free will and predestination. Alphys's function in the multiverse encompasses both creation and destruction, placing him in a position where every action carries profound and often unpredictable consequences. Darkseid is a new god and the ruler of Apocalypse, a planet governed by absolute tyranny. He embodies the principle of tyranny and seeks to dominate all existence by eradicating free will. His ultimate objective is to obtain the anti-life equation, a formula that grants control over the minds and souls of all living beings, reducing them to unquestioning obedience. As a new god, Darkseid possesses superhuman strength, near invulnerability, and heightened cosmic awareness. His primary weapon is the Omega Effect, which manifests as Omega Beams, highly destructive energy blasts capable of erasing targets from existence or transporting them across time and space. Born as Uxas, he rose to power through betrayal and ambition, ultimately ascending to godhood and becoming a persistent threat to the multiverse. Darkseid's conflicts often involve the Justice League, and his actions are guided by logic and strategic purpose rather than impulsive revenge or chaos. He seeks absolute order through domination, viewing individuality and free will as obstacles to be eliminated. Highfather, also known as Isaiah the Inheritor, is the ruler of New Genesis and a central figure among the new gods. He embodies peace, free will, and cosmic balance, serving as the ideological and moral counterpart to Darkseid. Originally a warrior, Isaiah renounced violence following a vision from the Source, transforming into Highfather, a wise leader who wields the Staff of the Source. This artifact grants him extensive cosmic abilities, including energy manipulation, telepathy, and direct communication with the Source. As part of a truce between Apocalypse and New Genesis, Highfather exchanged sons with Darkseid, raising Darkseid's child, Orion, while Darkseid took Highfather's son, scot-free. While his leadership is guided by noble intentions, Highfather's commitment to order and duty can lead to emotionally distant or authoritarian decisions, particularly during crises. At times, his focus on wielding power to confront evil has mirrored the rigidity of his adversary. Despite these challenges, Highfather remains a symbol of hope, guiding New Genesis with a belief in the capacity of sentient life to overcome darkness and uphold justice across the cosmos. Orion is the son of Darkseid. As an infant, he was exchanged with Highfather and raised on New Genesis, where he was educated in the teachings of the Source and nurtured within a society devoted to peace and cosmic order. Despite his upbringing, Orion struggles with the violent and destructive tendencies inherited from his father, constantly battling the darkness within himself. This internal conflict defines his character as a warrior of light shaped by the legacy of darkness. Orion possesses superhuman strength, speed, durability, and stamina. He wields the Astro Harness, which channels the Astro Force, granting him enhanced offensive capabilities and the ability to traverse space at extreme velocities. Orion frequently engages in battles against Darkseid and other cosmic threats, participating in multiversal crises and defending New Genesis and the greater cosmos. His narratives emphasize themes of identity, destiny, and self-mastery, highlighting the tension between his inherited nature and the principles instilled by Highfather. Metron is a new god renowned for his pursuit of knowledge and his role as a cosmic observer. He is not aligned with the forces of New Genesis or Apocalypse, existing instead in a neutral position, guided by curiosity and the quest to understand the universe. He travels across time, space, and the multiverse on the Mobius Chair, a sentient technological device that provides access to nearly all knowledge and allows instantaneous movement across dimensions. Metron frequently observes major cosmic events, intervening only when the stability of reality is threatened. Though he lacks conventional superpowers, Metron's intellect surpasses nearly all other beings. He has studied the Source, the anti-life equation, and the broader structure of the Omniverse. The Mobius Chair enhances his abilities, granting him near-omniscient perception and omnidirectional mobility. His neutrality, knowledge, and cryptic guidance position him as a symbol of ultimate understanding, operating beyond emotion, allegiance, or moral constraint. Death is an eternal cosmic entity that transcends time, space, and the multiverse. She embodies the finality of existence for all beings, from mortals to the most powerful cosmic forces. While death has assumed various forms, she is often depicted as a pale, gothic woman who guides souls gently to the afterlife. Beyond her personification, death functions as a fundamental force within the cosmic structure. She is neutral, operating independently of notions of good or evil, and her reach extends to all beings, regardless of power. Death has existed since the beginning of creation and will persist until its end, outlasting gods, monitors, and even entire multiverses. In multiple narratives, death is portrayed as an inescapable constant, one that even entities such as the Endless, the New Gods, and the Hands of the Source must ultimately confront. Her purpose is not to punish or reward, but to maintain balance. As a member of the Endless, she is the sister of dream, destruction, desire, and others, situating her as a metaphysical and omniversal force.